You see referee Earl Hebner holding up the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Chris Jericho, the reigning defending champion, who loves to gloat about that very night when he defeated The Rock and Stone Cold to become the undisputed champion. Jericho was quick to try and exploit that taped up quad of Triple H, as if Chris Jericho hasn't tried to ruin Triple H's life enough. Once upon a time, Stephanie McMahon, who would do anything for her husband, Triple H. And while they may still be legally married, there is nothing between them. Well, besides Chris Jericho standing in between them, now that she's chosen Chris Jericho. Oh my. And Chris Jericho just hit hard, took flight, and crashed and burned off that back body drop. Triple H is looking to make sure Chris Jericho pays for everything and more. This has been a road to vengeance for Triple H since the moment his quad tore. Each and every day more painful than the last. To get it surgically repaired. To spend a year trying to fight back for everything you've worked so hard for to get back up to the top. And it could all be ripped away in this moment here at the Showcase of Immortals if Chris Jericho gets the better of the quad of Triple H. However, Jericho wastes a little bit too much time showboating up at the top. Oh! And Jericho gets launched on top of the barricade, and Jericho gets to spend some time with the fans in the front row. Talk about getting the full experience. Now that's a meet, and that's a great for Chris Jericho and the fans. Triple H, veteran instincts, rolling back into the ring quickly to roll back out to break the ref's count. Triple H can't afford to be counted out in this matchup. The titles cannot change hands in the event of a count or disqualification. Oh, and Jericho with a shot to the back of the quad. The hamstring of Triple H. And Stephanie McMahon barking orders at Chris Jericho to stay on that leg. You often wonder in this moment, the way Stephanie McMahon wants to see Triple H get hurt, if she ever even loved him. Was there ever anything there between them? She said, I'm going to take everything. I'm going to take 50% of it all. She wants all of it. Stephanie McMahon wants to come in like a snake and just steal everything that Triple H has worked so hard for his entire career. And you thought a young Triple H was terrorizing. Well, Stephanie McMahon can do so much worse if she takes everything from him. And Jericho just cheaply raking the eyes of Triple H, but Triple H manages to duck. And now it's the game who's trying to go after the knee of Chris Jericho. You want to exploit my leg? Well, I'll repay the favor for you. There's a give and take. Triple H. Oh, come on. You got to get that harlot out of here. Uh-oh. That's his soon-to-be ex-wife, and she's about to pay. Oh! Nobody there for Jericho trying to hit Triple H, but Triple H sidestepped, and Chris Jericho driving right into Stephanie McMahon. Triple H, I think you have the right person, the wrong person to get back into the ring to win this match. That you can't pin her to win the championship. I'm just saying. You need to beat Chris Jericho to win the title. Triple H, though, doesn't care. He just wants to hit a pedigree on his soon-to-be ex-wife. Meanwhile, taking too long, Chris Jericho got the missile drop kick on Triple H. Triple H spent a year of his life doing everything he can to recover, and then would go on to win the Royal Rumble back in January, shocking the world with his return. Many thought that it would be much longer for his recovery time. No! Just get her out of here. And referee Earl Hebner telling her to get out of the way. I can't wait for Earl to get her out of here at ringside, just in general. And Chris Jericho just going to work on that taped up leg. That's what it means to be champion. Win by any means necessary. Exploit your opponent's weaknesses. And that's exactly what Chris Jericho's doing. The way he's going about it, it's just what you got to do. Was going for a stretch muffler temporarily, but let go of it pretty quickly. And driving the knee into the mat. And Stephanie McMahon is loving every second of it. And again, driving Triple H into the mat. It's just getting worse and worse for the game. It's all about the game and how you play it. And right now, Chris Jericho is playing it quite well in order to keep his undisputed WWE Championship. And a cheap slap by McMahon. You saw a figure four by Triple H in the ring earlier. Now, it's Jericho who's going to use the apron, or use the post, should I say, as Triple H sitting up on the apron with the legs all caught up in the post. Chris Jericho going up to the 3 count. Earl Hebner telling Chris Jericho, you got to get him in the ring. Chris Jericho can leave as champion if he gets counted out or disqualified. There's champion's advantage for Chris Jericho, but for Triple H, well, that leg has seen better days, that's for sure and for certain. But Triple H is going to have to find a way to come back and pin or submit Jericho flat out in the ring. And a drop toe hold as Jericho goes after the weak leg of Triple H. No, he's got that leg caught up and drives it backwards. And that puts a lot of torque and stretch on the injured quad. Or should I say recently repaired quad of Triple H. You come back, you spend a year recovering in rehab. Getting your quad surgically repaired is one of the most painful things. And it's also one of those near impossible things to tear because it's the largest muscle in the body. It takes longer to heal. However, Triple H, being the superhuman that he is, shaving off a few months off his recovery time just in time to be back to win the Royal Rumble and get his revenge on Chris Jericho so that he can be back on top, be back as World Wrestling Federation champion, and shove it to Stephanie McMahon, who should have been by his side when he needed her the most. The game gets the first shot on Jericho, but Jericho kicks the leg, and that's going to certainly slow down the incoming blows from the game, who gets a clothesline that knocks down Jericho, immediately falls for a cover. Jericho's still with it as he kicks at it too. Stephanie McMahon was ready to come to the rescue and break that cover. And the game getting some shots in on Jericho. And drops the knee. Jericho goes face first into the right knee of Triple H. It's that left leg of Triple H that's bothering him. However, on the way down, just launched Jericho down. Jericho's own momentum was used against him in that very moment. Usually would have seen that Triple H would have gone for a spine buster, but Triple H just kind of threw him out of the way. And speaking of spine buster, there it goes. The double A spine buster, hook in the leg. A near fall for Triple H over Chris Jericho. And again, you see Stephanie, she starts to get in the ring as if she's going to break up the cover. However, with no contact made, there's nothing the referee can do about Stephanie McMahon's presence until he sees something full-fledged from Stephanie McMahon. There's nothing that referee Earl Hebner can do about it. Triple H gets sent flying over the top to the outside onto the floor and just grabbing onto that left quad. And the game just in excruciating pain as Jericho clearing off the announce desk. What in the world does Chris Jericho have in mind? Come on. Meanwhile, Stephanie McMahon distracted the referee so he can't make his 10 count, allowing for more time for Jericho to plan and execute said plan on the outside. This is more than just defeating Triple H. This is about ending a man's career, taking a man's whole life away from him. No. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Triple H manages to fight out of it, though. Jericho got kicked back by the game. I'm really sick of hearing Stephanie bark orders in the background. She needs to know her place. And her place is not out here. It's in the back watching for the monitors. And come on. That man, his leg is already messed up. And Jericho just back body dropped Triple H into the other. I got to see this again. Just absolutely brutal. That's got to be it. That's got to be it. There's no doubt that Chris Jericho's got this thing done. It's set. It's done. It's over. The Lion Salt to seal the deal for Chris Jericho. Oh! But they're still lifed. And the Cerebral Assassin and Triple H again able to kick out as Chris Jericho tried to go for another pinfall attempt. Chris Jericho looking to end Triple H once and for all. Drops down the game. Looks to put away Triple H. Trying to get the game over for that Walls of Jericho. And kicks back at Jericho. And Jericho got sent in the turnbuckle because Triple H pedigree. Jericho realizing he was in deep trouble, going for some forearms at the injured leg of Triple H. And the Walls of Jericho applied center of the ring. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to hide. Triple H is in deep trouble. Triple H struggling on his forearms to crawl and scratch his way to that bottom rope. Can Triple H get there? How much pain will Triple H be able to endure to fight for this? Fight for the moment. He has already fought this far. He's come this far. He fought through one of the most grueling injuries a man can get. coming back stronger than ever, winning the 2002 Royal Rumble. Now he's here, WrestleMania, with the with the undisputed World Wrestling Federation Championship on the line. Triple H now motionless, though, in the center of the ring. Triple H is down. Chris Jericho bloodied at the mouth. And it could be the final time. Once that arm goes down for the third time, it is game over for Triple H, who shows sign of life. Triple H showing that there is still hope. A last gasp effort from Triple H as he uses all of his upper body strength to make it to the bottom rope. And the rope break is forced. Jericho thinks he's won, but in reality, it was Triple H who actually made it to the bottom rope instead. The thing is, in that submission, you can't tell. You can't tell what your opponent does. You only know when the submission hold is broken, forced to be broken. That was super uncalled for, pushing the timekeeper out of the way. And the chair got kicked right back at Jericho. Jericho, however, still holding on to that championship. And a DDT to Jericho on the chair. And it could be it right there to close it out. And Jericho manages to stay with it. Was that the final opportunity of the game? Stephanie, she's got that chair in hand. I think she's gotten involved way too many times. She's got the chair. Talk it, Earl. Oh, absolutely not. I don't think so. You may be Mr. McMahon's daughter, but you certainly don't put your hands on Earl Hebner. And Triple H is about to let her know, I don't play like that. You talk about game over. It's about to be game over for Stephanie McMahon. For everything she's done. You don't try to find a man when he's on top and tear down his castle. Triple H takes the princess down before she can get up and destroy the kingdom. Oh, come on. And that's it. Right on the skull of Triple H. That's it. What? Triple H manages to find a way to kick out. Another sounding shot of that thudding chair cracking over the skull of Triple H. Jericho measuring up Triple H. Triple H who's holding onto that quad as he limps. Now watch Jericho. Jericho looking to send a message. He's going to use Triple H's own pedigree against him. However, Triple H counters and Jericho gets catapulted but lands on the middle turnbuckle. It gets caught. Boot to the midsection. And it's about to be game over. And the pedigree, Triple H got all of it. And we got a new undisputed WWE champion. A new World Wrestling Federation champion for... And Triple H has done it. The game pulled it out of the bag. Triple H said, not today. I will not give up. I fought way too hard to be back. I did everything through all the pain of physical therapy. All those late nights in the gym. All those early mornings in the gym. All of it. All those lonely, painful nights. And all built up to the very moment where he holds the World's Championship. The World Wrestling Federation Championship. Triple H is undisputed World Wrestling Federation heavyweight champion. To be willing to die so that honor and justice may live as the King of Kings stands tall at WrestleMania.